Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready. If you'd like to make your way back with your cups of tea, cakes, cigarettes, whatever.
So just know me. Keep sending your messages, Chris. Naomi keeps sending you messages. It keeps lighting up.
She's probably watching the live.
Yeah, she will be. Yeah. You're okay. I was playing about with the textured backgrounds, and this was the only one that was not too in your face.
It's not, yeah.
We need to create our own textured background.
We'll do it.
I request everyone to be seated again.
So just to get your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we've had some very good presentations, but I don't think anybody's mentioned a market of $19 trillion yet. Has that got your attention? $19 trillion. What percentage do you want? Just sign him up. Sign him up. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, we have a live stream going on. We have people waiting online as well. Yeah.
No, it's never a good idea. I'll just make a start. Let people drift in.
No, I don't want people to miss this because this is not a PowerPoint presentation, I repeat. It's a movie. So if you miss the beginning, you miss it. So, first of all, we're going to tell you a story. This is not a conventional presentation. We're not conventional people, as you'll start to hear. So I apologize for that in advance. I'll just start with this. My first school report said under the column Latin, Christopher would have been very successful at Latin, which he sadly is not, if the Romans had played football. It's absolutely true. And for about the next 16 years, I continued to fail at school, as did most of my colleagues who are with me. And here we are today launching a huge idea to change that experience. And you'll hear from all of us that that's why we're motivated to do it. And the reason we're here today is that about 1 year ago, a certain gentleman contacted me on LinkedIn. Is he still here? Dr. Umir, you contacted me on LinkedIn. That's why we're here. And after only about, I guess, 5 minutes of talking, he said, I like it. I understand it. It's exactly what I want to do. It matches with my life's work. Let's do it. And similar to your story, I said, okay, we'll do it. And that's why we're here. And later on after this, we're going to sign up a memorandum of understanding to develop this idea. So, without any further ado, I'm just going to take you into the movie. But I said we were unconventional. I don't know if anybody remembers years ago when Google launched. And there was a bank of cameras somewhere in Silicon Valley. And 2 or 3 guys sat there in jeans and T-shirts. And they had $24 million worth of investment, which isn't a lot now, but it was certainly a lot then. It's 1996, I think. And that company, Google, is now worth $136 billion. And these guys were interviewed, and somebody said to them, so you've got all this money. What are you going to do? And they said, we don't really know. But we do know it's going to be huge. And they were right. So just remember that as we start to run through this movie. I have my colleague here, Professor. He doesn't like to be called Professor, so we'll call him Professor, shall we? Steve Cushing.
That's what he does it for.
And we have Wim Froon here. We have similar experiences and very...
Oh,
it's okay.
It was working. It isn't there.
And very different backgrounds. So if we can connect this again. Projectors. There we go. Okay, so we're going to start this movie now. It runs for about 15 minutes. We'll have breaks in between. We expect questions because this is a very controversial subject, which you've all experienced. And then we'll talk about the investment opportunities later on. But all I can say is it's huge.
Off the screen.
Okay?
No, the mouse has got to be off the screen.
No, we have percent. It's okay. There's no sound. Oh, it's okay.
Isn't the doctor's office?
Steve,
As soon as it... Oh, you don't need to. You don't need to switch it off at all. Just let it run. So I'm going to take you through a few of the points there. It's actually a totally true story, very close to heart. Not all students who are unsuccessful at school end up being successful. That's true. And not all students who do well at school end up successful either. Seems a bit of a hit and miss. The top 5% of students at school tend to do quite well because they are rewarded all the time, they feel successful. The bottom 5% cause problems. We talk about them, disaffected kids. But in the middle, there's this huge number of people who sort of drift through the system. They don't cause too much trouble. Nobody notices them. And what we need to try to do is capture some of these, and we need to make education through to work a single process, not lots of little divided bits.
Everybody understands the term millennials? Yeah?
If you live on your phone, you're a millennial.
Now we start getting some figures. You all like figures.
By 2020, millennials are going to make up 50% of the total world's workforce.
Which is shocking because nobody's worked out how to manage them yet.
Or how to teach them. And as a result of that, 75% of millennials believe that school hasn't prepared them at all for life or work.
That's a fact. We can give you all the references for these. Okay, that's McKinsey 2012, I think.
If I had a supermarket and 75% of people coming in were going out without buying something, I'd start to worry.
The figures get even bigger and more frightening, by the way. Millennials have the highest rate of depression, the highest rate of suicide ever.
Part of the problem is we start off in the story is that schools and colleges and the way we learn actually is very formal in a high way. We don't take any notice of the informal. As you get older and you get to sort of my experience, nobody wants to know what I did when I was back at school. They want to know what I did last week. It becomes very informal. Who do I know? We call it experience.
We call it experience, but experience comes after many years. We believe we can teach it.
So the current generation, millennial, they actually think differently. Their brains we've evolved. The way they learn is different. They like things in chunks. They like things in small doses. They like visual things. They don't like textbooks reading through them. Doesn't work.
And Dr. Mahmood's research backs that up, I believe.
And what's happening in America and around the world is we're giving them more and more drugs. We're saying, oh, you've got ADHD. More and more people are labelled with it. And we give them Ritalin just to calm them down so they don't cause trouble at school. That's actually what we're doing. It's like a disease spreading around the planet. And our societies are actually falling apart because of it.
But what we need to do, therefore, we repeat, is to make education and employment a lifelong process.
So I'm just going to talk through just one or two of the issues. First of all, the assessment system. You've got all these different people in your college, university, school, wherever it is, and we make it fair on them all by giving them the same test.
We're going to see what Einstein thought of that in a moment.
Climb this tree.
This is what he said.
You go to any young person or most people in society and ask them to list on a piece of paper all the things they now know they can do and all the things on a piece of paper they know they can't do, and I guarantee every single one of them will give you far more things that they now know they can't do. We take someone who's blissfully ignorant and we make them feel a failure, that they can't achieve something. It's all a race. So if you're 2 out of 10, you'll stay 2 out of 10. And if you're really good, you'll get 10 out of 10 and you'll feel successful. Not only do we do that, we do it by bells and clocks, by time. Be creative now, you've got the next hour, do it. Do maths now, you've got the next hour. And age. Why do we have a 14-year-old learning with a 14-year-old? It doesn't seem to make sense to me. In work, do we all work in, similar ages? Do we say, oh, well, you can't be in that group because you're the wrong age? We also focus totally on the input, skills and knowledge. If knowledge and regurgitating on demand is intelligence, Google is ever so intelligent. What we don't do is we don't get people performing tasks. That's how you develop experience, it's how you develop understanding. And this is what makes you able. Then we've got the next bit of a problem. We've got school on one side. work on the other, and a totally broken chain. So at the moment we're assessing about 10% of learning, 10% of what a person is, maybe less, but the statistics in the research say 10%. Is that really measuring how capable someone is? Education's a race on a very narrow range of skills, and even if someone comes and says, oh, I've got a diploma in mathematics, what does it mean? What can they do? We assess the skills and knowledge and ability to say it on a set date, on a set time, on a set exam. And we've no longer got a link to industry leading to all of the things we're going to come on to talk about, 21st century skills gap.
But we repeat, we need to make education to learning and employment one process. We'll keep repeating that because that's the message.
So what aren't we teaching? Let's look at what's happening in work. Extreme longevity. People are living longer, wanting careers into their 80s, 90s and beyond. We've got these smart machines and robotics replacing the jobs that we used to teach people to do. We've got all this computational world, totally changes in the way the world is, but we still carry on teaching as if it was the 1920s.
Or 1890s.
Or 1890s. Different types of organisations. This is a different type of organisation. Global organisations. People from different cultures working together. Different ages working together. Different experiences working together. This whole new media ecology. All the new tools. But we don't teach any of them. We still teach text.
And how to write.
Yeah. And this whole thing about the globally connected world and the importance of diversity. And if we then sort of start extracting, and I could go on forever about some of these, what's needed. So work has a sort of job DNA, a profile of the perfect person. And each of us have a profile. And if we're lucky enough that our profile matches the job, we're happy at work.
This is where the revenue starts coming in.
The company does well. And McKinsey identified that the only way we're going to grow is when?
Education to learning and employment is one process.
So here's a few of them, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on them, so we'll let this run. But these are competencies that employers are saying are totally missing, and the reason for the skills gap.
Not sure people have heard of the skills gap, have they? Yeah? Good.
And of course, with all these competencies, you've also got your characteristics as a person.
This skills gap problem, by the way, well, this is just unraveling. Google are working on it. Bill Gates is working on it. Cisco are working on it. Everybody's working on it, and they haven't got an answer. You're seeing the answer here today.
40 million too few college-educated workers in the global market. 40 million. 95 million workers lacking the skills they need for employment. It's huge. 45 million shortfall of workers in developing countries. And the estimate is that we're losing 16 to 20% of global growth because of these shortages. And I would say a lot of these skills are already being taught. It's just that already been learned. Let's put it in a better words.
Learned, yeah.
But we're only bothering to focus on formal. We're ignoring everything else they do. So starting to get more and more into stats as we go through. But first of all, each individual has a DNA of competencies that can grow, of course, as you learn new skills, new knowledge, new understanding.
Spelling error there, sorry. We're dyslexic, by the way.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I am dyslexic. Every job has a DNA of competencies. And if we can match them, we have a happy employee and a happy employer. The trouble is most of them aren't measured. So how do you know? In your interview, in your job application. Adaptive ways of thinking, going through some of these skills that are not measured. Things like sense-making of data, of the world. Financial and economic, personal and business. Transdisciplinary skills, we teach things in little boxes, we don't teach how they all mix together. Interpersonal competencies, you're taught in your year group and then you have to mix with lots of people of different ages and different cultures. Intercultural competence, new types of literacy. We're faced with it every day. And computational thinking, I'm not talking about programming computers, I'm talking about the way that you think in a computational way. And then the other thing we take no notice of is all the brain research and how the brain works related to learning. And we've got to somehow get a better balance between these.
So again, we need to make education, you know it now. So, more figures. Here's the market. Some of the figures. E-learning, worth 51 billion approximately. MIT, the people enrolled in their courses, 125 million. So e-learning is not tomorrow, is it? In the world, there are approximately 4.1 billion students, 65 million teachers. And the recruitment industry, anybody here from recruitment? Would you like to leave now? It's finished. 416 billion. And they ain't doing their job because of the figures you've just seen there. Education publishing, 60 billion. Pearson's published a worrying figure the other day, their profits warning. Biggest publishing company in the world, profits warning, guess what's happening? And global education in excess of 4.4 trillion. And then there's the little training market, 366 billion. That's not being successful either. Accenture are throwing out training. So this is the $19 trillion figure, OECD figure. $19 trillion, is that a big enough market for you investors? Yeah? No competition, nobody's got the solution, except us. So there you have the figures again, just to focus. These are all referenced, you can look them up yourselves. Some of you may know these figures. That's the training industry combined with recruitment. Education and publishing, as I say, Pearson profit warning yesterday, profits down. The SaaS market, which is where we will be effectively part of our product, 22 billion. This is the figure you want to focus on. 25% of GDP. Is education working? Economists, 25% GDP. Wasted? We keep on doing it because that's the only way we know. But now we're proposing a different solution. Big, isn't it? I expect some questions from you all. So, what are we going to do about it? Well, we have a virtual solution, which is online. We'll describe that a little bit more. And we have a physical solution, which is one of the reasons we're here today. And we link the two together. And I think we have a unique business model which enables us to make most of this free to the world. Free, okay? Free to learners, free to teachers, free to schools, universities, etc. The people that pay are the people who can afford it, employers. And we'll come to some of those figures if you want to ask me some questions about what that pain is. So our revenue model is simple. Give it away, build a huge database, and you've seen the numbers that could be available, and then we charge the people that need the commercial value, the employers. It's obviously a global market, but also with a local focus. So our physical model, you're talking about property development, that's part of our model too. So edogi is our physical model, change management in schools, property development, forming learning communities, and mygodi is the online, and they work together. We've already done this, by the way. We've already been involved in this. This is not fantasy. In a small part of Rotterdam, there is a place called Leerpark, and they've created 4,000 jobs in one city in 1 year from a ghetto, using some of these principles. They are the #1 employer in the area, provider in the area. They achieve, out of the 5% that fail, a 97% employment record. Imagine that. 97% out of it's unheard of. And guess why? That's where they've made it one process. We've taken that model, and what we're doing is studying that, making it scalable, making it investable, and giving it a business model that works so it can actually make money. As well as giving it to the world, it can actually make money. And with these figures, they're huge. So here is mygodi, the online solution. Think of Google, think of LinkedIn, think of Facebook, and it connects together all the stakeholders in the learning community, okay? And we can explain in detail to people who are interested why that is. But we don't only connect the learners, we connect the teachers, the publishers of content, who are increasingly teachers. And what we're doing is exchanging information, recording the informal, which is not recorded at the moment. And we can measure what is happening to people in the informal. That is 90% of the information which is wasted at the moment. And recruitment industry can't get. Even Accenture, with their $370 million budget, can't find that information. Then we have edogi, which is how do you change this in schools? We can't change the education system. What we can do is help them to change. Okay? Lots of these people want to change. They've got no idea how to do it, including most of the education ministers in the world. So together with AWI, that's what we want to do. That's our project. We've already started the software development, and we will build learning communities with them. So, how can you get involved? Any way you want. It's totally flexible. We don't know what we're going to do. We're going to solve this problem, and it's a huge problem, and it needs a huge solution, and we have it. And as Google said, we don't know how big it is, but it's going to be absolutely massive when we find the right market and the right investors. So we already have our second round funding. We have enough to develop the solution. We have developers who can develop the solution. We'll be starting in a few days' time. Here is Leerpark, by the way. Here are the facts about Leerpark. 130,000 square meters. And we come back to this figure. Okay, they raised 200 million euros for this project, and we believe they could have done it in a better way. Let's say we worked out a better way of doing it. And that was paid back in 10 years, and they achieved all these objectives. They sold 450 houses, etc., etc. Okay? So this is not pie in the sky. This is not education. We're talking about changing the world. We're talking about learning. We're talking about how people can invest in a sustainable future. You use words like sustainable. We believe the solutions are to create sustainable people. People who learn by themselves. People who understand where they are in the world. And many of these problems, we all know what they are, we don't have to address them, would disappear if everybody could think, and everybody could learn, and everybody could enjoy what they're doing. And as Wim said at our first meeting with Steve about a year ago, when Steve said to him, I'm retiring. I don't really want to get involved in this kind of thing. I'll tell you a little bit about Steve in a second. And he said, why should I get involved? I'm not really interested in the money. Thank you. And Wim said, well, really, to summarize it, I'm not really too interested in the money either. I don't want to lose it, but what we want to do is to put smiles on people's faces. And Steve said, okay, I'm in. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's our big idea. Thank you. So do you have any questions about this? Do you have any ideas? What do you think? Who enjoyed school? Yes. Do you have a microphone? Steve, microphone. Thank you.
Well, the idea is brilliant, and I got a couple of questions.
Good.
So the question number one is, once you develop the platform, so what will be your go-to-market strategy for different countries?
Okay, well, for different...
Countries.
Okay, so as we said, we have a freemium premium model, and when you give away something and it works, it's quite effective, as you've seen. Essentially, what we are seeking to do is to give away the platform to learners individually, to teachers, and initially, most of it to education organizations. Now, when you see what it will be able to do, and how it can motivate and change the motivation of kids, people will use it. And whether the school organization uses it, or whether the teachers use it individually to help them with certain problems, or whether the kids use it to help them understand, people will start using it. So our strategy in simple terms is to build a database of users, to build the information on the system, and at about 1 million users, which we think we will achieve within 1 year, we have enough impetus to start to interest the people who are going to pay, who are the employers. I can reveal that we are already in discussions with Accenture. We are already talking to Open University. In fact, Steve is meeting them next month. And there are already a lot of people interested. And we haven't even launched the concept.
You know, like in these type of projects, especially this is a very unique project. And I think one of the key challenge would be to get the quality contents from learning perspective.
We don't need content.
And how you're gonna
We don't need content.
diversified, like fields. So yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need content. Imagine us as the Google of learning. Okay, so if you're a learner and you want to find out how to be an airline pilot, Dr. Umir's example, we can do that. We can offer you a personalized learning path and what sort of content you need to achieve that objective without talking to any of your teachers, okay? Number one. Number two, for the teachers, we can offer them a perspective on what their content is required for a particular national curriculum objective. So we're now getting into the specifics, but we offer solutions to content mapping, curriculum mapping against content, formal against informal, formal against informal against job competencies. All of this doesn't exist.
Okay. So what are the key challenges you think you're going to face while taking this platform globally?
First key challenge we've overcome, which is raising the initial finance. Thank you, Wim. Second was to find a set of key developers that understood what we were talking about. We found them. They've produced software which is being used by NASA, GHQ, GCHQ in the UK and others. So we've overcome two of the key challenges. I think before that was to find the right people. And I don't want to tell you too much about this guy, but just let me tell you, he's written 600 books, has had 125 apps. He sleeps for about, well, I'll tell you, all of this we did ourselves, okay? We didn't employ an agency to do this. He did it with some of my ideas, some of his. There's about 3,000 hours of work here, okay? So we have the right people, we have the right perspective, which is different to everything else. And our motivation is very considerable. I think the key challenges next, of course, will be to interest people in it. But for the interest we're already getting, I think we'll overcome them.
I'll just come out straight with it. I was actually expelled from school when I was 14. Lots of good things happened to me afterwards.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you probably want to get to the meal, so thank you very much.
Wait.
Wim, sorry. Yes, please.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to Dr. Mounier and Dr. Umer, his sister, his people, to have invited us. Not as a closing statement, I will leave that to the other people. I would like to say why we're here. At the age of 5 years old, I was born Dutch in France. My parents did not speak any French, and they threw me in a school. I had to learn from the old people in the village. I learned about a lot of different things, about the history, about the war and everything. And at the age of 5, I promised myself to do something to transfer the know-how from senior to juniors. What a waste when we come to my age and we are not training young people. My life is now devoted to give knowledge to young people, and for free. It is not just an idea. It's not like Martin Luther King, I have a dream. My dream is to give education for free, but the right education, thanks to my partners. It's not an idea because we started this process 10 years ago in Holland. We did a PPP for those in the construction business of 200 million euro, and the last phase of the PPP was paid 95% by partner companies. We got together 12,000 students from many different countries which are failing in school. We had from year one 97% result in getting them a full-time job or they get them back to university. When I speak about smiles, you should come to Holland and see the smile of those people's faces because they have a future now.
Exactly.
When I spoke to Chris and then later to Steve, it is very important now to go to the next model. What is the next model? Is to go from a physical model and not on the internet model. Okay? If you look at 200 million investment for an eco-village, and I mean eco-village, where young people and old people can live together, where different societies, different generations of people can work and live together, not just learning. It is very easy for on 150,000 square meters of real estate to sell 2/3 to an investment fund for the student apartment, because we will get 95% occupancy, to sell part in residential, and to pay for the education from the real estate. Okay? So tomorrow, if you look at how many people would like to go to MIT or to the big school, the schooling is costing 20,000 euro per year. What results will we get out of it? Only for the top 10. And the other 90%, they are wasted. Okay? So thank you for everybody. What we want to do is invest in people. And as a closing statement, I was in Moscow in 2007 doing a PowerPoint presentation. And at the end of the PowerPoint presentation, they asked me, can you give a conclusion in 2 words? I told the presenter, say, I wish you asked me that before. But I came with a 2 words answer. And what is it, 2 words? 4P. If you want to succeed in life, invest first in people. Second in projects. Third in partnerships. And last in profits. Thank you.
It was such an inspiration to listening to you. Thank you, Mr. Haran. Now it's time to invite Mr. Simon Carlton, the CEO of James Carlton Group from United States. Mr. Carlton shall elaborates his unique ideology towards high-yield mixed portfolio investments.
Sorry, while we get set up, you can have another 5 minutes. I know you're all really tired now. So, it's okay. If anyone
Yeah, there is. Again, a break. It's very hard to call the break.
Maybe link it up. While I just no. Yeah. No, not a video. It's just a presentation. It comes up. It's fine. It's been a long evening.
Oh, yeah.
It's too long, and I'm right at the end. No one wants to listen to me.
No, everybody goes in the door.
Can you connect? How long will it take? Yes, dear.
Connect. That's okay, it's fine. Duplicate, yeah.
No, it's not connecting.
HDMI keyboard. The HDMI keyboard.
So,
Yeah, it's gone now. It's okay, they're using this one now.
so sorry for this.
That's all right. Hopefully we can gather everyone back in.
We need to.
One went on a little bit long, but that's good. I'm just worried that everyone's like, oh God, I just want to eat. I know I'm hungry. I've had a banana today.
Oh, sorry.
But look, it's fine. All I'll do is I'll tell everyone we're going to go through this nice and quickly, because I know everyone's, they have to do other things. We can always just talk later with other people, so it's absolutely fine.
But this is the last presentation. And the last presentation was kept intentional.
Oh no,
So as to have a very effective dialogue.
Oh no, I like that. Yeah, yeah. It's not absolutely fine.
I told you it's your show.
It's my show. Oh no, it's been very interesting though, definitely. Oh, we're up there. Look. There we go.
We have allocated time for everyone. But sometimes they like to
People go.
express more.
It happens though, What is for me, I talk a lot, and other people are the same because we're all passionate. So it's fine. I'll try and go through this as quickly as I can, so everyone can eat.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. I'll use this. Okay. Okay. Should we call everyone in? Call everyone in. We're ready.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, everybody. Hello, everyone. If you'd like to take your seats, let's get this last presentation done, and then we can have a bite to eat and mingle and talk more.
Yeah, it's fine. Sorry. I request all of you to be seated again. This is the last presentation. Once again, I request all of you to be seated.
Turn her mic off. She needs to turn her mic off. No, it's not. It's she's got her microphone on. I think. It's off. Some kind of technical issue. That sounds. There you go. That's better. Well done. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Everyone can hear me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I can have your attention, please. This is the last presentation, and then we can all mingle and have a bite to eat. I'm Simon Carlton. I'm representing Carlton James today. I'm the CEO and founder of... Oh, hello. I don't think I even need the microphone. I'm quite used to speaking loudly. Okay, so I'm the co-founder, CEO of Carlton James. Carlton James, we're an investment firm. We specialize in property, hospitality, and technology. So I just want to tell you a little about Carlton James. Carlton James was formed in the British Virgin Islands. We have offices in the United Kingdom, the United States, and now Singapore. We specialize in boutique investment opportunities, and essentially we're a funding organization. So we act as a lender, a private lender. We have over 40 years experience between the group, and this is we have an exceptional business experience across many sectors, including financial, property development, and technology. So what we do is we utilize a mix of equity and debt to offer secure lending to borrowers across real estate and technology, mainly in the United States, but we're currently looking at other borrowers in Dubai and the UK. You see, the reason why we kind of put this company together was because we saw an opportunity after 2008, after the global financial crisis, to offer developers, people who are trying to raise money for their technology, trying to take basic research to commercialization, trying to fund a development that we knew was going to be a good development, but they just couldn't find financing. The bottom just fell out of the lending market, and it meant that people who had an idea that was a very, very good idea just couldn't find the funding that they needed. And it was purely because lenders had this kind of strict blanket policy over every single development and every single technology business. And we saw an opportunity to use our expertise, the size that we are, which is smaller than many lenders, and the fact that we can take advantage of equity positions as well as act as a kind of mortgage lender. So we're able to take advantage of developments and technology companies where maybe other lenders wouldn't be able to lend to. Because of this, and because we're lending to developments and companies that are either just starting or they're looking at speculative land opportunities, it means that we're able to obtain a high interest on that. And then we assist ourselves and our investors by acquiring multiple securities across a wide range of portfolio. So different asset classes, different diverse areas, mainly in the United States. So how we secure our lending. So as this lender, we decided that we had to find a way of being able to secure lending so that we're able to take advantage of what that company is able to do and the profit they make from a development, as well as earning a very, very good rate of return to pay our investors. So first of all, we realized that the best way to do that would be to take an ownership position. So we effectively own part of the development or part of the company that's developing the technology. On top of that, we place a board member on the company that we're lending money to. So our borrower realizes that we are working with them. So we act as the borrower as well as the lender. This secures our stakeholder interest, secures what the borrower's view and feeling on how they're being treated as their lender, and means that it becomes a relationship as opposed to just a kind of lendee situation. We then secure the borrowing by way of a mortgage, of a loan, whether that's secured against technology patents or whether it's secured against land or assets. It depends on the borrower and depends on what we're doing, but it's always secured. And then we also take an additional security, which is one of my favorite things about what we do, is we take what's called a collateral assignment. It essentially means that not only are we taking security over the client's particular assets, but we have what's called a collateral assignment over their bank accounts and the other assets they own. So for instance, if we lend money to a company to develop one site here in North Dakota or Minnesota in the United States, but they own a piece of land in Florida, then we have the collateral assignment over that piece of land too. With that mixed with the fact that we have the ownership position and we have a board member on the board, means that we're able to control and secure ourselves against any losses. And so far, so good. We've done very well. We have a 5-year track record. Our average return is around about 17.8%. It's difficult because our different products kind of overlap sometimes, but it's around 17.8%. It's between 17 and 20%. We've invested in silicon battery technology, which I'll talk about later, an associated company, and made it into a publicly traded company. We've invested in distressed real estate developments in the Midwest in the United States. And we've also funded a variety of commercial developments throughout the United States too. Going forward, our next product will be more diverse. It's going to be over a number of different countries. But as you can probably understand, with the different rules in different countries, it's taken a long time for us to get there. But we're there now, and the next product will be that. The asset class achievements, we've made quite a lot of achievements during the last 5 years. And I wanted to talk through a few of those now. Some of them are very interesting. I'd like to think so anyway. I hope you've got some questions, which means that you find it interesting too. The first one is we first of all secured a lending proposition against a commercial developer in the United States. We were able to assist that developer to speculatively buy land and change the planning, change the zoning, change the water, the wetlands, or split the land to increase the value of that site. And what we've been able to do over this last 3 years is we've been able to increase the assets that we're secured against by 98%. It means that now 100% of our investment is secured by 200%. So we're at about, every time we lend now to this commercial developer, it's around about 50% loan to value, which means that we're able to get high returns of interest for our investors, but also secure it at a really low loan to value. So that's a really big achievement for us. That developer, I wanted to talk a little bit about what they do. They essentially buy land that's hospitality based in the United States. They, as I said, they tweak the planning and they increase the value of the land. They then look to either develop the pads ready for a construction company to work on, or they'll sell outright. So for instance, one of the sites they bought was a piece of land in the Midwest. They bought it for 2.7. 1 year later, after spending, I think, 90,000 on the site, it's now worth 5.7 million, which has increases the assets that we have as security. So that's just one of the companies that we fund. Cortec is the other company that we funded. This is the technology company. The value of that company since the beginning of 2015 through to 2016 is actually from the end of 2015, even so, to 2016. It increased by 1,000%, the value of that company. Now that's 10 times. We increased the value of that company by 10 times. Now that's our technology arm, and we own obviously a percentage of that company, and we also secure a loan against them. On top of that, we assisted them to put an MOU in place and an agreement with a commercial manufacturer to manufacture their materials from basic research to commercial. And I'll talk about that just briefly. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want you guys to have an understanding of what we do as a company and how our involvement helps our borrowers to actually increase the value of that company. We're not just a lender. We act as a borrower as well, which helps secure our investors. So one of the first things that Cortec does is it's in the solar industry, and essentially there's lots of things that you can do with solar, but the liquid silicon technology that Cortec has enables us to be able to make a whole building a solar panel. So, for instance, if you build that building, if it's a skyscraper, even if it's a house that's been built with siding, and the building materials are developed in a factory, we can print solar panels on the side of that building, so that you can't see the solar panels, but the whole building becomes a solar panel, which I think is very exciting. You know, and we're close to that soon. Microelectronics, we're able to print electronics. So what that means is you can have smart walls. So in other words, your walls can become the electronics of a house, or even a showroom, for instance. The whole wall could be a screen, and then when you turn the screen off, it's not a screen. No projection required. This itself could be a screen without any electronics behind it at all printable. We're seeing other companies work on this at the moment, but the liquid silicon is cheaper and it's more effective. And this is one of my favorite parts of the liquid silicon, and that is we're able to increase battery power and storage by 10 times. So if you look at a Tesla car at the moment, which we have been looking at, and you look at the battery size of that car, if you notice it's between the whole 4 wheels. It's a huge battery. And the problem with Tesla and the problem they have with selling their cars is people worrying about getting to a charging station when they're going on a journey. We're able to make that battery either 10 times more efficient or reduce it by 10 times, which completely revolutionizes battery power. And then, I won't go into this in great detail, but there's a 3D display project they do as well. But I know that I don't want to bore too many people too much right now. I know it's getting late. As I said, we've been paying our investors for the last 5 years, and our annual dividends and bonuses combined have given people a 12% return in 2012, 12% return in 2013. We jumped up because the bonuses started in 2014, so they saw a 27.5% return that year, 27.5% return in 2015. The last product, which was 2016, brought those returns down slightly because the security went up. If our security goes up, the return that we pay doesn't have to be as high because people aren't taking that much of a risk. Now we've gone into our 5-year, we're now in our 6th year. Our returns are substantial, but they're also secured, and they're secured against physical assets. So, for instance, your money is 100% secured. And now a lot of the investments that we do are in the United States. Now, I don't want to do a show of hands because everyone's has a private life, but I'm sure if you invest in different countries, you understand that when it comes to investing in products or property in different countries, you have different taxation, things that you've got to worry about. You've got to worry about accountants in different countries. There's lots of different things that you have to deal with, especially when you look at investing in the West. So the normal tax issues that foreign investors find in the United States are as follows. They have to file their taxes in the United States. They have US tax implications. There's a 30% withholding tax on properties in the United States. So that stings people a lot when they're investing in the US. And there's a tax advisor cost that's incurred. All of these things mean that, along with the fact that you've got management, means directing in real estate in certain countries can be really, really scary proposition, because the return that you think you're getting, you may not get. So what we've done is we've developed this product so that you have nothing like that. For instance, there are no USA tax implications of Carlton James. You only pay tax in the domicile country. If there's no tax in your country, you won't pay tax on our product. You don't have to worry about managing properties. You don't have to worry about having an empty property. You don't even have to worry about an exit strategy, because our product comes with an exit already built in. And we've shown it time and time again. We're now on our 4th official product. We had one product that we brought out that was filled by one person. I didn't even have to write a PPM. I didn't even have to write any documentation. So we can't officially put it on our kind of history. But oh yeah, what we're doing is completely above board. This is not what we've done here is a structured investment product. And because you're investing in a company in the British Virgin Islands, and the degrees of separation between you and the real estate that's in the United States means that there are no tax implications. There are tax implications for us. What we wanted to do, you see, is we wanted to take the tax implications away from our clients. So we have a tax implication. So we're in the BVI, but we're registered for tax in the United States. But you as the investor don't have that. And we did that on purpose because when we first started out, there wasn't that. And the tax implications, it got difficult. So we structured an investment product that gave the clients the ability to earn their money and pay their tax in their domicile country. And we take the burden of tax filing and paying taxes. Okay? It's one of the reasons why our return to our investors is exactly the same as what we earn. Okay? Round of applause if you like, it's fine, it's okay. I don't want to force you into it. You know, it's okay. You're welcome. So that makes things a lot easier for people. Okay, so the current offering we have has an ISIN number. It's called the Carlton James Commercial Real Estate. We separate our investments. So, for instance, if you're investing in the technology side, you'll go into the technology arm. If you're investing in the commercial real estate side, you'll go into the real estate arm. It means that you know where your money's being spent on. But essentially, the product that we have at the moment is the commercial real estate product. The next product we're bringing out, which will come out in the next few months, is regulated in the Cayman and Dublin. And that will be a diverse portfolio, a lot more complex, but it'll be a mutual fund. This is purely commercial real estate. You have a part ownership in the real estate as a preference shareholder. You're secured because you're also the mortgage lender, and you have a good return, and you have a fixed exit. I mean, you can't say fairer than that. I mean, what property can you buy that you have a fixed return that you know you're going to get, no management cost whatsoever, and an exit that says in 2 years' time, there's your money back, and there's the capital gain that you're going to get from it. Okay? So there are two options for our shareholders because we've learned over the years. There are two different kinds of investors. There are those investors that don't want an income, and they don't want to see their money for 2 years for one reason or another. And you have the other person that wants to quit their job, or they want to invest in property, but they want an income. This product offers the ability for you to be able to have a bit of financial freedom when it comes to investing in property. If you invest in property, the problem with investing in property is if you're looking to flip that property, buy it, off-plan, sell it, however you want to do it, there's no income. What this product offers you is the ability to use less money in investing directly in property, and then put some money into a product which pays you an income. So while you're investing in that property, you can earn some money. So we have two options. The first one is the income product. This pays 3% dividends per quarter. So it's 12% per year. So at the end of the third quarter, you'll receive your investment, 6th, 9th, 12th, etc. It's a 2-year term. At the end of the 2 years, your shares are bought back from you with a 10% bonus. So you get a dividend payment for 2 years and a bonus payment at the end of that 2 years. If an income isn't what you want and you want to earn more money, then you have the option of investing in the capital accumulation product. Now what this does is it still pays you your 3% or your 1% per month, but you don't receive it. So then you reinvest that money. So officially reinvest, which means that you get interest on interest. So you get a compounded interest payment. So that's still 12% per year. At the end of the 2 years, you get that compounded interest payment plus a 15% bonus. That works out around about 41.9% because of the compounded interest. So over a 2-year period, we'll give you a 41.9%. So if you go for the income, the 2-year income would be 34%. If you go for the compounded, it works out about 41.9 or 42, so I like to round up. And that's it. I really, really thank you. Listen, I tried to rush through that because I know we spent a lot of time. I know everyone's hungry. I know I am. But look, the whole point of this is just to give you a bit of a taster. I'd love it if you had some questions now, but I won't be offended if you don't. Okay? But I'd really, really like it if you just come up to me afterwards and just ask me anything you want to ask me. I love to meet up with people. I'm here for the rest of the week. I'm back seeing the guys from Aspire. Thank you very much for inviting me. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys again at the next summit. Were there any questions? Were there any questions? Do you need a mic? I don't know if I'll break it again. Why don't you ask the question and I'll repeat it? Oh.
Thank you. First, I don't want to be on stage again. First, congratulations for the return, because we've seen a lot of bonds and other type of investment, and very few have such a good return. So that's my first comment. The question is, how many funds you're raising per year, and how much is that invested versus real estate or technology or another type of investment? Thank you.
Okay, so we normally have around about one product per year. There have been very, very small products. You're talking yeah, 10 to 20 million. The new diversified fund, which is the next product, will replace what we're doing now, and essentially be an ongoing mutual fund. So it won't have a closed date like these do. What was the other question?
How much you're spending in real estate versus...
Oh yeah, so all of our funds have been aimed at the commercial real estate, because we had one fund for the technology, but we had one investor for that. So if you invest in the commercial real estate, it goes into commercial. The technology side we have another kind of separate product. If you're interested in the technology side but you're not interested in the commercial real estate, let me know and I'll give you the fact sheet for that. But it's separate at the moment. But the majority of our money goes into commercial real estate only because we can secure it against a tangible asset. So it's better for us to have as much of that go into that as possible.
I have a question about the solar system building that you were talking about.
Okay.
Has any building has been done so far?
No, because what we do is Cortec, that company, it takes basic research to commercialization. So what they're doing now is they're moving into the commercialization. So no buildings have been done yet because they've just taken it from basic research to commercialization. So the next step for them is, once they've got the kilo amounts for the liquid silicon, is that we're already in talks with different companies regarding joint development agreements and joint ventures. Some pretty big household names.
Because there was a German company who tried, and people could not live in the houses.
Yeah, I think
because of the solar radiation that was coming into the house was coming into a rainbow color. It was coming into a rainbow color. Instead of having a white light in the house, you had a rainbow color in the house.
Okay.
All your furniture, all your ceiling, all your flooring had rainbow effects. People could not live with it.
Yeah, I think that the difference is now is that the technology that we have, or that Cortec has, because I get put on the board of these companies, like I said to you about relationships, I like to see myself as part of their company too. But the technology they have is not been seen before. So liquid silicon has been seen, but Si6H12, which is the patented technology they have, has not been seen before. So this solar is completely clear, so you wouldn't see it on the house at all. And the actual energy supplied to the battery is what would light the house.
And is that the same technology you were talking as a screen on the wall?
Yes. So it would be sprayed on.
No. That liquid is also what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah,
Instead of
but
having a
yeah,
screen,
it's
the same thing?
Yeah, it's the liquid silicon, exactly.
It's the same as the solar system.
That's right. Well, it wouldn't just be that liquid silicon. It would be like with batteries. It would be lithium-ion batteries with liquid silicon. It wouldn't be a liquid silicon battery. That's a good thing. So, for instance, with the batteries, there's no competition because the product itself is not there to replace any product that's in the marketplace. What it does is it enhances the products that are already there. So it makes products better. So, for instance, with batteries, they're able to put liquid silicon with the lithium ion and make that battery more powerful.
Okay, thank you.
I like this. Lots of questions. See, look, you're not too tired. Let's just carry on.
Well, unless you're tired.
Too much coffee.
Okay, I guess mine is the last one, and that is, I have a client actually, and he's into technology, a very special technology. Okay, let me give you an example. If you have 3 balloons, you've got a red balloon outside, you've got a yellow inside, and you've got a blue, the 3rd one inside. He instructs the laser to bust just the yellow one, which is right in the center.
I think that's quantum dots.
Yeah.
I think you're talking about quantum dots.
No, this is something's yet to be launched. But I'm just trying to tell you the accuracy of the technology. So, have you invested already into technology? Do you have any technology partners with you at this stage?
Yeah, that's it. Cortec is our technology partner. So we've invested, Carlton James have invested into Cortec and taken them from a very small value with no company really to now a publicly traded company, and they've just got their manufacturing agreement with the manufacturer in the US.
Have they done any international projects outside of the United States?
No, but that's the next step. They're dealing with Nippon Shakubai in Japan, so there's lots of different companies that they're looking to work with. So that's the next phase. As I said, there's an additional funding requirement for Cortec, but it's separate to the offer that was displayed before we lost it.
No problem.
But I'm always interested in speaking to people. Listen, if anyone wants to talk about the technology side or ask any more questions about the commercial side, just come and speak to me.
Thank you. Take a deep breath.
I'd really like to speak to you. Good? Any other questions? So look, come and speak to me afterwards. We'll exchange cards and we'll talk more about the current offering. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kadri. Last but not the least, I wish to request Mr. Dr. Umair Mahmood, the CEO of Aspire World Investment, to share his thoughts, because it's always great listening to him.
Well, I guess I have to rely on just a verbal communication. And Anyway, it's okay. I don't have much to say after you heard all of this. First of all, from the core of my heart, I wish to thank all of you for being with us tonight. As you know, this is the first Aspire Investment Summit for 2017. Dr. Munir, our president, he already enlightened us that we have very highly ambitious plans for a very promising 2017 and also for the years to come, inshallah. Today, you are able to witness a bit of our strategy towards mixed portfolio investments. We believe that people who have money, and of course they need to invest, they need to look at a wider variety of options to invest. So you saw we have Saramco Aspire Holdings as an option. They are putting a very nice show in real estate developments in Pakistan, and we are very proud to be partnered with the Saramco group in Pakistan. Aspire World Investments, along with Saramco Aspire Holdings in Pakistan, is working primarily on two things. One, you might have been known about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor that China and other countries, including our friends from the GCC and the Middle East and other parts of the world, UK the latest, they are investing into an economic corridor which runs through the entire length of the country. And we are looking, and the size of the investment into the infrastructure is now touching 70 billion. So it's something which is unheard of in our part of the world. It is something which was much needed. So we have lots of opportunities when it comes to the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now what Aspire World Investments is doing, the government is working on the infrastructure, but we also have a role to play. We, along with the Saramco Group, have established the Saramco Aspire Holdings in the country, in Pakistan, to organize structured large-scale capital investments to develop very highly specialized economic zones and the industrial zones. So far we have identified 56 locations across the country, and we are looking at partners from within Pakistan and from abroad to work with us in shape of joining hands with us with the piece of land in the allocated areas, joining hands with us with the money if they would like to, and also with the expertise and the technology from worldwide to develop these special economic zones inside Pakistan. Now that is what Aspire World Investments is going to do as far as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or the CPEC developments in the country are concerned. Then Aspire World Investments is also investing its capabilities and resources to develop a business hub right here in Dubai. We felt the need for this business hub somewhere, I think in November, Dr. Munir, if you rightly remember. So in November we had already planned that we'll have something like a business hub in this part of the world because of an obvious reason, and the reason is Dubai. The only place on the planet Earth hosting more than 200 nationalities. So the kind of diversity and the kind of phenomenal infrastructure development which has taken place in this part of the world is an inspiration for everyone. So people with money, people with expertise, people with knowledge, people with ideas, Dubai is attracting everyone. Dubai welcomes everyone, and we are very proud to be part of the developments in Dubai. This business hub, Aspire Business Hub as we call it so far, is going to serve our friends who are looking at the Middle Eastern markets, but there is more to it. It's not just the Middle Eastern markets. Our friends from the China, Japan, and from the East, Far East and Southeast Asia who are looking at the markets in MENA, in Europe and in other parts of the world, it is going to help them reach those markets. And the same way, our friends from the North American continent, from Europe, from Cyprus, as you see, from United States, Canada, from UK, France, Ireland, those who need the Middle Eastern market and the South Asian markets. So we are going to connect East and West together in business. That's how we are the Middle East. So this Aspire Business Hub welcomes our friends and partners from across the globe to join us and share with us the Aspire philosophy of synergy and inclusiveness. Just to give you an example, if one of our friends or anyone wants to invest into this country, you need to complete certain formalities like trade license, you need office space, you need people to work for you and all these things. And it's a good size of startup initial expenditure. So what Aspire Business Hub is going to do is to reduce the initial spending and the operating costs on part of our international partners, and it's also going to provide them business to help them grow within the minimum market penetration time with help of our brothers and friends in the UAE. So this is the second thing which is on display today as part of our mixed portfolio investment strategy. Then you were also part of the activity, and I'm really thankful to my brother Andreas. Actually, we all share a great inspiration from his father, Mr. Patroclus. He's really a very inspiring person, and I expect that he joins us in the next investment summits. You can't resist falling in love with him. So you saw the investment opportunities in Cyprus. We are also honored by the presence of Mr. Fadi from the Cyprus Embassy. He elaborated us, he enlightened us about the overall investment climate in the Cyprus. So that is again a very promising area where Aspire World Investment will also allocate its resources to, and will welcome our more brothers and friends from across the globe to join the Patroclus Group in a JV environment for large-scale developments and also for the EU naturalization programs which they have to offer. Fourth, you heard Mr. Chris Heron and Professor Steve Cushing. Well, I think I might not be having the words to express what I felt, but really it's a great honor knowing what you are up to, knowing how you are going to revolutionize learning. Honestly, I can say on behalf of my friends here, we all hated schools, we all hated learning.
Exactly.
This formal.
Exactly.
and what you are coming up with is not only going to revolutionize, it is going to help the flow of information, knowledge, and as Professor Steve Cushing rightly says, is understanding. This is what we need. This is what everyone needs, whether we call ourselves educated or not. So I'm really grateful for you coming over, especially for the Aspire Investment Summit, and we expect to welcome you for the entire calendar of summits in 2017. And we would love to partner with, we are already, you will see, we are going to sign a broad-based memorandum of understanding. Yeah, right. So anyway, we are proud to be working with Viva Goji on something which more than 7 billion people on the planet need. And then Mr. Simon Carlton from the James Carlton Group. Now, I hope we all believe in the coincidence. You know, something happened when we met first. It was Fairmont in the Palm Jumeirah just few months ago. And I'm listening to this fine gentleman, and he's telling me about his ideas and his program and his products. And I said, yeah, we are also doing the same. We are thinking the same. And then I asked him, what do you call your fund which you are going to launch in the future? And you will see it in another couple of months or so. We should be able to, 2 months or max 3 months, we should be able to launch the fund which he called it Diversified Fund. Wow. And I said, we call it a diversity fund. So two different people in two different time zones, two different regions, thinking the same. Why? Because the world needs it. Our friends from the Arabian Peninsula, from the Middle East, from the GCC, they need it. Everyone needs it. You need to diversify. Well, I don't think we even have to debate why we have to diversify. So we are working with, we are very honored to work with Mr. Simon, the James Carlton Group, to introduce his very lucrative investment models and products in this part of the world. And we are working together to come up with a joint fund, whether you call it diversified fund or the diversity fund. Well, you can also suggest what do we do. So in the very near future. And this fund is going to provide for something amazing, something superb, which actually translates the vision of Dr. Munir Ahmed, that we got to support emerging enterprises, startup businesses, youth, new technologies, and everyone where we see there is a commercial viability and where we can create new demands in the market. And that also includes the real estate developments with, again, a touch of innovation. So you saw a bit of our strategy towards mixed portfolio investments. We call it balanced portfolio investments, because if our friends invest into a wider variety of sectors in a variable geographical quadrants, various locations across the globe, it is going to minimize risk and it is going to maximize return. And by the way, Aspire World Investment, as Dr. Munir said, is all yours. So why it is yours? Because we are here to protect your risk. Thank you very much, all of you, once again. I won't be a hurdle between you and the dinner. But before we go for the dinner, I have a brother from another mother. And I'm really honored to have him here. He has always been with us whenever we needed him. I would like to invite Mr. Muhammad Al-Khalidi from Saudi Arabia, and we are proud to have him here again. I would just like to request him to say the conclusive remarks, and then we'll quickly go to the signing ceremonies, and that's it. Thank you very much once again. God bless you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. When you come here, God said, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا لِتَعَارَفُوا. I am from Saudi, he's from Canada, he's from US, Indian, Pakistan, Cyprus. This is the God, what he say, we follow. So I don't have anything to talk about with the business. You need to make name in the market. When you said, like Muhammad Al-Khaldi, we know him. He have company like this, we can work with him. So we need good name in the market. Everybody, he will come to you and he will work because he trusts and he know you. When you say something, he believe. This is the business exactly. When you have anything true, you have respect. Okay, you have respect for the time. It means you respect yourself. So I cannot say anything more. I'm happy to see the all nationality here. Inshallah, more in the next time. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's summit was based on theme of balanced portfolio investment, as you all know. You were able to see the Aspire Rural Investments initiatives to invest into a wider mix of projects in a various parts of the world. Now we'll move on to the signing ceremonies with our respectable partners. First of all, I would request Mr. Dr. Munir to come at the podium and take your seat. Thank you. Now, may I request Mr. Haron from edogi to just join us for our signing ceremony?
Sorry, it's Viva Goji.
Viva Gogi.
I'm just going to change that. Mr. Froon is going to do it.
Mr.?
Mr. Froon.
Okay, sorry. We would request Mr. Fern to come step forward.
Yes, ready, please, ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Well, a picture with Chris and Steve, please.
हेडफोन निकाल के दे
Is it? Oh, okay. Steve. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yes, ready, please, ready.
Don't worry. You sit.
Yes, ready, please. Yes, ready, please, ready. Please. Dr. Sam.
Thank you.
I would now request Dr. Usman Zafar from DOC International Counseling. UAE, please join us for the signing ceremony.
Yes, ready, please, ready. Hello.
Now we are ready for that.
Yeah. Yes, ready, please, ready.
Mr. Simon Carlton from James Carlton Group. Please join us for the joint signing ceremony.
Yes, ready, please, ready, ready. Sir. Yes, ready, please. Okay.
Mr. Mohammed from the Premier Investments, UAE, please join us for a signing ceremony. Mr. Mohammed.
Yes, ready, please, ready. Shake hand. Yes.
Thank you so much. May I request all our partners to please join us together for a group photo.
Yeah, I'm sorry for this scheduling. I wish to request my brother Andreas from the Petro Plus Group to join us for the signature ceremony, please.
Yes, ready.
Please sit.
Should we get it?
Yes, ready, please. Yes, ready, please, ready. Doctor, ready. Yes.
Move this table. Junaid?
May I request all our partners to please join us together for a group photo?
हाँ वहाँ सही है आओ ट्रक भी कर लो आगे ऋषि हम लाइव ना करें
ऋषि का हम लाइव जा रहा है
ऋषि इस वक्त हमारे लाइव हैं
ऋषि कौन है यार बता
हेलो ऋषि
खुद बताया शायद भी आप
मैं अगर मुनिजा अगर देख रही हूँ तो देख लेगा ऋषि कितनी मेहनत कर रहा है या
Yes, ready, please, ready.
Ready.
Again. Yes, ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Why not? Why not? Please join us.
कम यार अपना ऋषि आगे बैठाना पड़ेगा ना सब आएंगे नहीं कुर्सियाँ ले लें जल्दी कुर्सियाँ दे दें सर आगे बैठ जाएं 10 मिनट तो आ जाएंगे और दे दें और दे दो एक और दे दो ऋषि
Discreetly you looked at me.
Oh, पटी साहब एक चेयर और ले लें Sir, James, come forward. Sir, come forward. Yeah.
Just a minute. I'll stop. Please ask.
There is no space. There is no space.
Make it once, then
Okay, after that they will give. Yeah, done. Ready?
Yes, ready, please. Hasi bhai aa jao. Yes, ready. Excuse me, ready, please, ready.
Okay.
Salma.
Yes, we need to be more seriously about education. Yeah, we'll be Yeah.
हो गया पूरा इस
Yes, ready, please, ready. सामने आ जाइए.
सलमा बैठ जाए सामने.
एक दो चेयर और दे दे.
नो नो नो.
समीर कट्टी.
Yes, ready, please, ready. Yes, ready, please, ready.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the interesting sir, please enjoy your
पूछ बंद करें. ऋषि पूछ ले एक बार. जाके स्टॉप कर. मैं यहाँ से थोड़ा आप थक गए. जल्दी कर. बैठ बैठ.